We've taken a look at quite a few Fujitsu machines, whether the early FM7 series or the later FM Towns and their cousin console, the Marty. Today though, we're looking at a machine that comes slap bang in the middle. And here it is. This is a Fujitsu FM77AV. It was released in October 1985 and is one of Fujitsu's last 8-bit computers before they switched to the x86 machines like the Towns. It's very much a successor to the FM77 line and is compatible with and the FM8, whilst also improving the formula. Like the previous machines, it's based on the Motorola 6809, specifically the 68B09E, running at 2 MHz. Although in the two earlier AVs, like this one, it couldn't run FM7 software at 2 MHz and had to drop to 1.6 MHz. That limitation was removed in later EX models. In terms of colours, that's where the biggest advance was made. The AV range jumped from the original's 8 colours on screen at once to a whopping potential 4,096 colours. Incredible in an 8-bit computer. The higher spec models, the 1986 AV20 and the 1988 40EX and SX, had a bump in VRAM to 144K and 192K respectively, so a potential 260,000 plus colours were available. To power those graphics, like its predecessor, the FM77AV used a second 609 processor. Sound also got an improvement. To add to the existing AY38910, Fujitsu gave the AV systems FM sound with an YM2203. Okay, well, I guess we just need to take a look around the machine really. It's a 2-piece unit, obviously. We've got the base unit, we've got the keyboard over here. We'll take a little look at that in a second. But first of all, I guess we'll take a look at the front of the machine first, because this is all going to require me to start moving the cameras around quite a lot because of the factory of the machine. So let's get on with it. So from left to right, we have the keyboard. This is a volume control because the sound comes out of the speaker here. There is an external volume control, which audio port. I haven't tried using it because it's RCA out. So I have a cable I got for the Spectrum, which I was using as like an audio jack from the Spectrum into RCA style jacks to my system. Technically I can use them in reverse, so we'll give that a try. This is the first one here, is the switch that changes it from 2 MHz to 1.6. This is an interesting one. We might need a little bit of explanation. So you see it says basic or DOS. So effectively, if the button is pushed out, so not pushed in, that's redundant, but you know what I mean, then it will boot into basic. If, however, it is pushed in, it will be waiting for a bootable disk to turn up. Now, while it's doing that, it will then beep horribly, so that's always fun. I can understand why they made it an option. That's some kind of infrared thing. I've no idea what it does yet. This is a reset button, and these are 2 joystick ports. I think it's the same as kind of similar to the MSX one, and then the FM Towns used, but I need to check that. And up here, of course, we have a power button and some indicator lights. Now, okay, yes, the elephant in the room, this awful thing I've done here. So the original disk drive that came in that port, like disk drive 0, there we go, here it is here, isn't working. I'll have a look at fixing it. But in the meantime, I just decided to put a Godec in there. I think what I will do is I will make my own case, and I'll use up this whole area to put this in there so it fills nicely. And yeah, there's our second disk drive, this being an AV2, so it has 2 floppy disks. Because it's the earlier model, these are both 320K normally. Right, well, now we have to turn it around and get to the back. So I guess first of all, this giant gap here, it's similar to kind of the Apple II, where it didn't have like expect the expansion cards to come out the back. This is similar, and so all leads for an expansion card will come out of here. We'll show those in a second. So we have a printer port, or communications port, like an expansion port, but I think it's also printers. Serial port. This is an RGB21 port to get video out of. Now that would have been really useful for me, but I think that my RGB21 adapter went with the Cull So I can always make one. It's just a slightly different pin out to SCART. So here we have obviously power in. Obviously this is a 100-volt system. Which uses quite a lot of power. So my poor ones that I use for consoles and stuff just overheated after time, just turned off. So I had to find out one that had much more wattage to use. This is to power a monitor. Obviously won't be doing that. That's the audio output I mentioned. So we need to put a thing in there. Hopefully we'll get audio out, otherwise it'll come through that speaker, which will be a editing nightmare. This is a cassette port. This is another RGB out. This is what we'll be using to VGA. And yeah, that's it. We've done it all. Excellent. Right, let's take a little look inside and talk about the cards. Right, so we have this little hatch here which pops off with a bit of force. There we go. And these are where the expansion cards are. I'm pretty sure these were standard cards. I say that because, oh, this one wasn't quite in properly. That's interesting. I say that because I've seen them in every single one I've seen on auction, so I'm assuming they were standard. These also, a couple of them came with cables, but I'm guessing this went to a recycling centre at some point. And what recycling centres tend to do is just cut cables off. So these cables will come out the back. I've got one of them here somewhere to kind of demonstrate what I was talking about. There you go. So yeah, that was literally just cut off right flush with the case. This, I think, it looks like an S-video cable, but talking with leaded solder, I think this might be some kind of light pen thing. But yeah, one of them had an audio cable that was cut off. I think I reused that to fix an X1 keyboard. And yeah, so these cards, they're slotted in, they just kind of come out. Ooh, there we go. Ooh, they've just got a pin edge connector like that. And yeah, this is got an 8088 on there. Some kind of tuning thing, no external port. I'm not sure what that would be. There's not a huge amount of information that I can find, or at least not in English. And they've got little guide rails so you can slide it in properly. There's this here, there's another little slot as well. There's this, which is the one that had the audio cable. I don't know which one it was, maybe it was the other one. Anyway, this got a battery on it, but surprisingly is not leaked and has some power still. So there you go. Even with the guide rails, these are hard to get back in. Sometimes they just kind of, this one I think might be a little bit warped. Are you in there? There we go. And finally, this one, which is the one that had the S-video style connector, and yeah, pretty chunky with some voltage regulators on it. But anyway, yes, anyone knows what they are, then by all means tell me. And there we go. So yeah, interesting system. I guess let's try to run some software on this thing. All right, so turned it on. Yeah, we're recording from the screen. My capture system will not pick this up again. Yes, this is Miner 2049. We're not getting any sound, that's for sure. Pretty sure there should be sound in this game. Let's try changing the... No, we're definitely not getting sound, and so I'm pretty sure we should be. Oh no, there we go, we have sound. Guess there just wasn't any on to begin. I can't tell if that's coming from the TV or from the machine. But anyway, this is Minus 24, and I've done this game. It came out on several different machines. I don't know how to get up ladders. Okay, an interesting version of it, but yeah, you can kind of see what it's capable of. But let's try a different game. There we go. T&E Soft is quite a big name, if you will, in this era of machines, and they kind of carried on, I think, into like Game Boy era. They may even still be around. funky. Let's turn down the volume a little bit. There we go. This is going to be Japanese heavy, but look at that, that's lovely. Really nice music as well. I'm guessing this is going to be some kind of visual novel style thing though. Don't know what that means, don't know what that means. Maybe that's asking for disc 2. You can try. But anyway, lovely graphics. Let's put this on something we can actually play. Alright, a lot of people probably remember or recognise that logo at least. And they may even guess what the game is that's loading, or hopefully loading. There we go, it's a Tetris game. Almost guaranteed to be one in this era, of course. Oh, blimey. That's looking good. Oh, that's looking pretty rough. That may be a FM77 to FM77AV issue. It doesn't look so bad. Let's see what the actual game looks like. Oh, a little bit, yeah. But it's, I mean, it's Tetris. It's a bit, yeah, it's a bit funky. I'm guessing if we change the, if we change the speed, it would probably resolve this, but yeah. Anyway, it's Tetris, you know Tetris. All right, finish with a classic. The Tower of Draga. This came out on a few 8-bit systems, of course, by Namco. Now, will this one work? That's the question. Interesting. 8 to start or 2 to continue? I guess 8 to start. Oh, come on, that's some nice music. I don't think the graphics are showing up. So that's not quite working either. Right, anyway, we will actually finish off with Wizardry, which is again a classic game. These graphics look lovely as well. I don't know how we're... Yeah, English. Oh, it's got an English option. That's interesting. But anyway, so this is the FM77AV, the 2-1 to be exact. Yeah, it's a lovely machine. I need to do some work on some of the games. There are a lot that weren't working. There are a few that I couldn't show for reasons. But there are some really nice games on here, and some lovely ones. And of course, there are a lot of operating systems as well that you can boot up and all. Not just the basic. There's also like OS9 and a few others. It's an interesting machine. They can be quite expensive. I was lucky with this one. It was looking like it was in really bad condition, so I think that's why people didn't bid on it, but it turns out it just needed a bit of a clean down and then it was fine. But yeah, it's a lovely machine, well worth looking into. I'm sure you have better luck on the games than I will. Anyhow, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please hit like. If you really like the video, please hit subscribe. If you didn't like the video or you have something else to say, then please leave it in the comments below. Oh, we recently hit 6,000 subscribers, which is really cool. Way better than we thought we would do. But yeah, welcome one and all. I hope you enjoy the videos. Do remember to share and subscribe. That's how we grow. And also commenting and stuff means that YouTube remembers we make videos. Uploading isn't enough. If you do want to join our Patreon, that's in the links below, and that helps us obviously pay for stuff and get these videos made. But by no means is that necessary. There's YouTube membership as well. That's not necessary either. Just watching, subscribing and liking is what we really need. Anyway, see you next time.
The present is horrible. unbearable. The future looks bleak. Remember our childhood to get us through the winter.